The North Gauteng High Court handed down judgment that IOL was in possession of and subsequently published classified information. The newspaper article, which was published late last year, revealed sensitive details about a state security agency report that named senior ANC leaders have been working with the CIA and feeding them information about South Africa's policy direction and government decisions, and that it represents a serious threat to the national security. Of course, finding that the report shouldn't have been published. Minister Gungubele is responsible for state security in the Presidency. He joins us now for more on the story. Minister Gungubele, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Firstly, just your reaction to the court ruling.
Good evening, Kathy, and to your viewership. We really highly appreciate the court decision against the background that by international standards, when we talk of security of any nation, both from the point of information as it regards that nation, its security, and to the extent that that nation security depends on its relationship with other countries. And actually the key point being, a classified information is protected because its usefulness depends on the continuation of its state of classification. So what actually the court has done, it has affirmed that principle, which is in terms of the laws of this country. The other point I want to say, Keith, is that people know the high panel review by Professor Mufumadi on the importance of the stability of the institution, which is the intelligence agency. A lot of weaknesses that were analyzed. I appeal to all South Africans that as this institution is stabilized, we work together because it is for the sake of this nation. It is for that journalist himself and the media house and their children and their generations. Thank you very much.
Of course, Minister Gungubele, in light of what the court has found, there is a level of accountability that the publication has to bear. But the bigger question is really about what is happening in state security and the various wars that are taking place among officials in that agency that even result in classified information ending up in the hands of ordinary South Africans.
Thanks, Kathy. Of course, that's why I deliberately reminded all South Africans about the report of the High Panel, which punched holes in the institution, which I am comfortably happy that we are on course towards the recovery and stabilization under DG Thembisile Majola. And in the process of doing so, getting it right, it can't be an event. It's going to be a process, and a process which I'm comfortable it's on course.
As it stands, though, can you confidently say that there isn't information, whether it's being leaked to different media houses, whether it's being leaked to different political parties or even representatives of political parties? Can you confidently say that there isn't classified information that's coming out of state security?
That's why, Kathy, I'm saying the recovery of this institution is going to be a process, not an event. And against that background, anything is possible, painful as it might be, but we are doing our best to tighten the holes. And we hope not too long we'll be in a position to say zero leakage.
What does that mean in the interim? So from a practical perspective, where do the gaps still lie?
Well, I cannot exactly tell you other than the fact that if you are still stabilizing and building cohesion, building a sense of family, always the gaps are in the percentage of divisions that are there. Because the percentage of those divisions and the trust in the institutions constitute where those gaps are. Because it is when the loyalty to the institution, when commitment to the institution and commitment to one another are not at a level that is actually of optimal utility, that you have those leakages.
This year is also a year where we're going to be having an election in the ANC. The Zondo Commission of Inquiry report uncovered what it said was State Security Agency and the budget for SSA that was misused to fight individual political battles. And this was in favor of different campaigns taking place in the ANC. Are you concerned that that will continue to happen? And I suppose the big question here is also to what extent you've been able to hold those named in the Zondo Commission of Inquiry report accountable for their misdemeanors, especially those that could well still be within the agency.
Thanks, Kathy. Of course, the Zondo Commission laid to bear a lot of irregularities, a lot of flaws that found way in the institution. That includes the High Panel Review, to the extent the Professor Sandy report, and there are processes of dealing with those. For instance, we participate in the SIU, where those are supposed to go there. We participate in submitting information, in completing the President's plan of the implementation plan of the Zondo recommendations. But within the institution, a forensic audit has been in place by LICWA. A lot of findings have come out. It has not yet finished. All the findings that come out, we continue to share it with the IG in the NPI to make sure that those that are ready for investigations are done. We've already subjected others to those that are in the jurisdiction of institutions in terms of discipline. There has been expulsion. There are suspensions. There are those who are still. There's quite a lot of frontiers in dealing with that case. Against that background, to answer your question, we are going to be very, very harsh case. Anyone who uses the institution of state security like this for political what we call nefarious intentions. Because if you get the report of Zondo and others, is that this institution, one of the most unfortunate things was when it was allowed to be used for party political intention. It is one of the worst breach that we are going to open our eyes and actually watch them like an eagle. When we come across that, we are not going to hesitate. We will act very harshly.
But are you concerned that that could still well continue in this current election cycle that the ANC is involved in?
Well, I'm sure yourself, as you follow the media, amongst ourselves, there are still those daring characters. We would not be surprised that there will be chance takers. But all I'm saying is that they must pray that they are not found.
Minister in the Presidency, Gungubele, will leave it there for tonight.